Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to remove the dashboard in your 2000 to 2005 Deville. So what you're going to need is a T15 socket joint, 10 millimeter, 7 millimeter extension, flathead just for harnesses, pliers, and I use this to cut wires because I'm just removing it, I'm not installing it, so don't cut any wires. All right, let's start. So first things first, you're gonna want to take the glove box out. So grab your 215. This vehicle has a CD changer. So I believe if you look closely, there's T15s up top. It should slide right out after you remove those. There's 4 T15s here. I already started. And then there should be 2 more in the back. And once you take those out, you just pull it towards yourself. Unclip the switches here, and it should come right out. Okay, so I undid these 2 screws here. Like I said, not every car is going to have this in there. So in most cases, there's just going to be 2 back here, 2 up top. So I forgot to mention, before you try to pull the dashboard out, there's this panel underneath here, this knee bolster. So what you want to do is grab this back side underneath here with both hands and pull it up towards yourself so you don't break the clips. So I successfully got that one out without breaking any clips. So now I'm going to pull the glove box out. So from here you just unplug these harnesses, pull the blue one out, disconnect the white one. Now you want to get your 7mm socket, and there's a little panel under here. There's 2 7mm. Take those off, the panel should come right out. So this is also helpful if you need to get to your body control module or your temp door actuator for the rear if your climate controls aren't working in the back seat. So working our way left, pull this trim off around the radio with your flathead screwdriver. It's already pretty loose. These are pretty sturdy, so you don't really have to worry about breaking them. So now you got your radio and your climate control. To get the radio out, you pull that bronze clip back inwards on this side too. Just pop it out, go over here, same thing. Disconnect these 2, or no, this one has this one harness in the radio antenna, which just should pull right out. Now you move on to your climate control, which is pretty much the same, but instead of the metal clips, it has plastic clips on each side. So there's 2 of them, one here, one up top, which is kind of hard to see. So do the same procedure as you did with the radio and pull it out towards yourself. So from here, disconnect these 2 wiring harnesses. So now that we got those out, we're gonna move on to the ashtray compartment here, which is just 4 10mm, one back there, one there, one there. Once it comes out, there's a wiring harness for the cigarette lighter and the light bulb in here. So like I said, easy peasy, just unclip this harness here. Also, make sure you keep all your screws. I like to put them in the cup holder because it's right there, it's easy. So from now I would move on to the knee bolster here, which is very tricky because like you can see all these clips get stuck in here and break. So when you take this off, it's kind of the same as this panel over here. You have to like pull it up and towards yourself in a quick motion, and it should come right off. Now that we have all this lower stuff off, we're gonna move on to the dash pad, which seems tricky, but it isn't. So what you're gonna have to do is pull each of these vents out with your needle nose pliers. And then there's a 7mm that holds the dash pad in place. There's a little hole in the plastic here. It's kind of tricky to get to, but that's why I use my joint, just so I can get the right angle. If you plan on using these vents again, I recommend putting a microfiber towel inside the teeth, just so you don't scratch the plastic. But I'm just popping these out quick, so what you want to do is kind of get right in the middle, just get good leverage, because if you put too much pull on one of these tabs here, they snap right out. You want to be quick with this too. So let's keep going. This side, I like to push the vent to the right. Get right in the middle there. 3, 2. It's so nerve-wracking, but got her out in one piece. The tricky ones are these passenger and driver outside vents, because they like to get stuck in there. I'm just gonna reach over here, give it a go. It seems like it's easier to do from the driver's side. Got that one out, and this one's always a pain. It likes to break, so be careful. Yeah, so like I said, they like to break. I popped the light switch out with a flathead to try and like get it to wiggle, because I think there's like some clips underneath, which is different from all the other ones. They kind of prevent it from sliding out easily. So I'm just gonna pull this out. If you break yours, don't worry, because I have plenty of these vents for sale on my store. Not that you want to break it, but if it happens, don't worry. So I got this one out somehow. So from here, you're gonna want to grab your 7. You can see the bolt right there. So there's one in each vent. Right there. Now that we took this out first, it's gonna be a lot easier to just get the right angle on it. So yeah. Let's get that one. I'll open this door. Last but not least, passenger side. Now that we got all these bolts undone, you're gonna have to take the A-pillar trim out, which is super easy. Forgot to mention, you just need a trim puller or something along the lines, and you just want to put it right here. Just get a little separation. There should be a clip up top. I just do it enough to get my hand in there. See, it unclips right there, and then you're gonna want to pull it towards yourself like this. Sometimes you gotta give it a nice wiggle. This one has a sunroof on it, so there's a drain here. So this has a tweeter connected. So you're gonna want to just unplug this harness, and the whole trim will come right out. Want to do the same procedure to this side. Okay, so now that we have both the A-pillar trim out, we're gonna move on to this dash vent up here, which is clipped in here, here, and here on both sides. So you want to probably start with the middle, give it a good distribution when you're trying to pry it off, just so you don't break anything. It can be kind of a pain. Don't do what I just did, which was put my hand underneath and try to like slide the clips off, because the plastic's sharp. But show goes on. I switched over to my flathead because I just wanted a little more leverage. This one was giving me a hard time. But yeah, now that we got all these clips off, you have your daylight sensor right there. What you're gonna want to do hand in here, you're gonna want to twist it around clockwise or counterclockwise, but you want to rotate it, and this piece should come right out the bottom. I rotated that clockwise towards myself, and this piece comes right out as well. So now you have 3 10mm bolts holding the dash pad down towards the windshield. You might be able to see it in the reflection, but they're kind of hard to get to. There it is. This is where I use my joint, just because, you know, it's kind of hard to get a drill in there. So now that we got those 10mm out, the stash is basically free. The only thing holding it in place now is there's some clips that are in the front. There's bulb clips. So you just need to do kind of the same thing you did with these panels and just rip it towards yourself. But be wary that the wiring harness for this is connected still. So you don't want to pull it all the way towards yourself until you disconnect the speaker up here and this. So this is also good if, you know, if you want to replace your dash pad. It's the way to do it. So, like I said, you got the speaker here. The wire runs all the way across to the right side of the windshield. So you're gonna want to find the harness for that and disconnect it. So we got the wire harness disconnected. So now this dashboard is off. So we just want to pull it out and get it out of the way. Okay, so from this point, all we really have left is this wood grain, the gauge cluster. So next we're gonna remove this wood trim here. There's 7mm up top. There's one there, one there, one there, one here. There's also 2 behind the glove box. So just be wary when you're pulling this out. There's wiring harnesses behind every electronic. One here. So don't rip it out right away. Make sure you get these unhooked before. So to make this a little easier, you might want to put your car into neutral just to get this shift lever out of the way. I'm at the junkyard, so I did it the caveman way. So you're gonna pull this toward yourself. I believe there's 2 clips in here. Usually doesn't give me much of a hard time, but if you come across it, just put your hand where the tension is, and it should come right out just like that. I clip these harnesses because I'm a Neanderthal. Don't do that. You're gonna want to unfasten these. Once it comes out a little bit, it's a bit easier. So now I'm gonna get this out of my way. Okay, it's starting to look less like a Cadillac, but we are almost there. Next is your gauge cluster, which is held in place by 4 7mm. One here, one here, one here, and one here. There's a wiring harness. I got the bolts unfastened. So now this should come right out. You'll have to disconnect the harnesses on both sides, but that's pretty simple. So now we are down to the retainer, home free. So you're gonna want to disconnect this here. I usually do it while it's popped in, just so you know your panel doesn't go anywhere. So now we're just 7mm and this thing's out of here. So to start, there's one down here. I'm just gonna go through this slowly just so you don't try pulling it out without getting all of them. One here. One up here. One inside the radio. And the one that I always forget about is down here. You can't really see it while you're sitting up here, so don't forget that. One there. One over there in the top. One down in the bottom right of the glove box. And I believe that's it. Obviously, if you start to, pull it out towards yourself and you feel something stopping you, make sure there's nothing connected still. So I'm just gonna go around, take these bolts out, and then lift this thing out of here. All right, so I got every bolt out. Now the only thing that should be holding it is the ambient temp sensor right here. Also has a wiring harness behind it. You want to just pull the dash out a little bit and then try to unclip it. If you haven't unclipped the control panel yet, you should do it now. Also, when you're pulling this out or installing it, you're going to want to move your steering wheel down as far as you can go. So, just like that, and you're going to lift up, over. I usually go out the passenger door. Doesn't really matter, but preference. Sometimes these clips for these wiring harnesses are connected to the plastic, so you just want to make sure that's off there before you pull it. Like so. I believe there is one down here somewhere too. I think this blue harness here. When you pull this out, be careful where you hold it, because these are very, very fragile. Usually it'll crack right here or up here for the most part. So just kind of feel it out. I like to grab it from here. This piece tends to be pretty sturdy. So like I said, your biggest challenge is going to be getting this up and over the steering column. But once you do, you're home free. Okay, we got that sucker out. Now you can see why these break so easy. Just GM things. Just put all the weight of this on this small piece right here. But when I shipped this to you, I cut it here just to make it cheaper, and it's more sturdy because this weight's not pulling. So yeah, the dash is out. Installation's the same thing, just reverse. So while you have the dash off, this is a good time to do your heater core, your blend door actuators, which are behind this piece here. Passenger airbag, that kind of thing. It's easier to do it now so you don't risk breaking your dashboard again. But yeah, that's all. Installation's the same process, just backwards.